Good evening, Bahamas. Coming up tonight, Prime Minister Minnis announces fewer restrictions as he says the Bahamas is nearing the end of the second wave. A man wanted for questioning in connection with a recent murder turns himself in. Plus, a special surprise for a 5-year-old boy.
Our News is brought to you by Alive.
Welcome to Our News and thank you for joining us. I'm Kyle Joaquin. Top of news tonight, less than a year after he left the Free National Movement and became an independent member of Parliament, Golden Isles MP Vaughn Miller has announced that he will join the Progressive Liberal Party. Miller was fired from his government-appointed role as a parliamentary secretary back in 2018 after voting against an increase in value-added tax. Well, today he told parliamentarians it's time to do what's best for him.
Mr. Speaker, I've been in conversation with the leader of the opposition, and after careful reflection, I've decided, Mr. Speaker, to join the Progressive Liberal Party.
PLP Deputy Leader Chester Cooper welcomed Miller to the party and called it a jubilant day in Parliament. He said Party Leader Philip Davis will release a statement on Miller. Well, Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis today made a case for the extension of the state of emergency brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic, as he also claimed the Bahamas is nearing the end of the second wave. As he addressed Parliament this afternoon, Minnis also announced that further restrictions have been lifted. Here's Jasmine Brown.
The Prime Minister delivered his remarks in Parliament this afternoon as he sought to explain the need for the extension of the emergency order. He told parliamentarians that it's not quite time for Bahamians to let their guards down.
We cannot say that we do not need certain emergency orders and at the same time say that the virus remains very serious. Saying both of these at the same time is wholly contradictory and makes no sense. The emergency powers orders give the government the necessary ability to act quickly to prevent or lessen viral spread.
Despite the need for the extension of the emergency order to October 31st, Dr. Minnis also said that based on the data at hand, the country appears to be nearing the end of the second wave, which saw thousands of new confirmed cases since June. However, he also warned that the global trends indicate that the Bahamas will likely face a third wave.
Stop the late social gathering. Those are what are challenges today. We would be able to come out of this viral infectious phenomena very, very quickly.
Dr. Minnis also lifted several restrictions today, allowing the reopening of gyms on all islands with the use of safety protocols. Commercial and additional social activities may resume as normal on Andros, Acklins, the Berry Islands, Bimini, Can Island, Crooked Island, Eleuthera, Exuma, Grand Bahama, Inagua, and Mayaguana, with physical distancing and mask-wearing protocols in place. Those islands join Chub Key, Harbor Island, Long Key, Long Island, Ragged Island, Rum Key, San Salvador, and Spanish Wells as islands with the least restrictions, including no curfew. Meantime, the provisions under the current emergency powers order will remain in place for New Providence and Abaco.
This government does not like lockdowns. We understand they are hard on family life. They are hard on businesses and individuals' finances. They're hard on people's mental health.
As for tourism and the economy, the PM insisted his administration is doing all it can to ensure a successful relaunch on October 15th. He said they are also considering relaxing the quarantine rules for domestic and international travel. Reporting for Our News, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Well, one day after police issued a wanted poster for the man they identified as Marlon Smith, also known as Bam Bam, he turned himself into authorities. With family members by his side, the man walked into the Central Investigation Division for questioning in connection with a murder investigation.
There was a wanted poster up saying that they were looking for Marlon Smith, a.k.a. Bam Bam.
Families of all murder victims, President Candy Gibson went live on her Facebook page for 38 seconds today as she accompanied who family members say is Nehemiah Culmer as he turned himself into police.
We're here live now carrying Bomb to CDU. There's Bomb in the back.
Police have been on the hunt for Bam Bam, who they say was wanted for questioning in connection with a murder investigation. News dealt another blow to his family as they continue to mourn the loss of another relative, 7-year-old Ray's Williams, who was gunned down in front of his mother's Nassau Village home Sunday night. Culmer's family spoke with Our News Tuesday afternoon, pleading to have his name cleared. His aunt, Leela Maycock, and Gibson walked out of the Central Detective Unit moments after he turned himself in.
We was ever planning on bringing him in. It's just that he had to make up his mind because he was in fear for his life also. You know, so we decided to let him know that everything's going to be all right. We know he's innocent, so we will let God and justice be prevailed.
While Culmer was wanted for questioning regarding a murder, police did not say which murder. Culmer's attorney was not present as he walked in, but arrived a short time later. His aunt says they want people to see that he walked into CDU with no injuries and in good health, and is praying that his name is cleared so he can return home.
We just want him to know that we did the right thing in turning him in, and also he came in healthy, and that's how we like to receive him back, please.
3 men were charged in the magistrate's court today in connection with that $3.4 million drug bust, which followed an hour-long high-speed boat chase with police in the Exuma Keys and resulted in one suspect being shot. Georgia Bain has the story.
3 men believed to be in connection with that major drug bust in waters off Exuma, where over 2,000 pounds of Indian hemp was seized, were brought before the magistrate's court today by officers of the Drug Enforcement Unit to face 6 related drug charges. 42-year-old Omar Chisholm of Yamacraw Drive seen in the black shirt, 37-year-old Andrew Pratt of Bahama Boulevard seen in the blue shirt, and 37-year-old Adrian Mackey of Penny Savings Bank Lane seen in the yellow shirt all faced 6 charges before Magistrate Andrew Forbes on Wednesday morning. The 3 were arraigned on 4 drug-related charges, including conspiracy to possess dangerous drugs with intent to supply, possession of dangerous drugs with intent to supply, conspiracy to import dangerous drugs, and importation of dangerous drugs. On Monday, officers seized 52 Croker sacks of marijuana with an estimated street value of $3.4 million during a joint operation between OPBAT and the Defense Force, who were conducting surveillance along the Ragged Island chain when they observed a speedboat with 4 occupants. According to police, they ordered the boat captain to stop, however he did not comply, and an hour-long chase ensued, leading to waters off Barratari, Exuma. The boat captain allegedly rammed his boat into a police vessel, and an officer opened fire on the vessel, resulting in one of the suspects being injured. In court today, the 3 men were also charged with causing harm and assault with a dangerous instrument. The men elected to be tried on these 2 charges in the magistrate's court. The 3 suspects all entered not guilty pleas to all 6 charges. Chisholm was represented by attorney Ian Cargill, and the other 2 defendants were without legal representation. Magistrate Forbes informed the men that he was unable to grant them bail and remanded them to the Bahamas Department of Corrections until the beginning of trial on the 25th of February 2021. Reporting for Our News, I'm Georgia Bain.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs is looking into the deaths of 2 Bahamians who were killed abroad. Bahamas Honorary Consul General in Houston, Lyndon Rose, confirmed that 23-year-old Bahamian student Kanai Ramming was shot and killed in Houston on Friday. According to police, the Grand Bahama native was inside his apartment when a rock was thrown through his bedroom window, and upon walking outside to check, he was shot multiple times. Meanwhile, an investigation is underway in Canada after Bahamian Judith Taylor, who was living and working near Toronto, was struck and killed by a train on September 7th. A spokesperson for Toronto police has said the death of the young mother is being treated as suspicious, and they anticipate a preliminary report will be completed by the end of the week. Well, Lyndon Pinling International Airport seeing its lowest travel numbers ever, according to Vice President of Marketing Jan Knowles. She says it appears locals and potential visitors are turned off by quarantine restrictions.
We've never seen this. We've never seen things this slow.
Activity at LPIA is minimal. Barely any taxis in sight and hardly anyone walking in or out. The numbers serve as a telltale sign of just how slow things are at the airport due to the pandemic. In August 2019, LPIA saw over 204,000 passengers. But just last month, the airport saw less than 2% of that number with just over 4,000 passengers. July of 2019 saw over 207,000 passengers, compared to July of this year that saw 30,000.
We have limited U.S. flights. We have almost daily flights into Florida, a couple of times a week into Charlotte, but very, very limited flights. Certainly not what we are accustomed to.
Noel says when LPIA was allowed to reopen back in July, they saw some potential. However, since borders closed and reopened with tighter restrictions, visitors and locals haven't shown an interest in traveling. She says while there is still a demand for travel to and within the Bahamas, it appears many just aren't interested in the mandatory quarantine after travel.
We look at the flights that are on sale for the months of October and November, and there are a significant number of flights that are on sale in the system. However, as we get closer to the time, what will make those flights a reality is our management of the COVID-19. Because if we have the same restrictions, if there are changes in terms of the entry requirements, then you will find that, those flights will go away.
While government has plans for more tourism activity by mid-October, there is no word on when major resorts like Atlantis and Bahamar plan on reopening their doors. The Hilton has also stated that it will remain closed until further notice.
Well, there's always a direct correlation between hotels and airports. Once you have hotel rooms open, then certainly you have more people coming. So, but all of that is a part of the whole COVID-19 overview of what needs to happen.
Until things pick up, Noel said the work continues with keeping visitors interested in traveling to the Bahamas.
The Ministry of Tourism, the Nassau Paradise Island Promotion Board, and also those hotel partners, they're doing an incredible amount of work, to recover from this. And I think that you will see the capability of that team and when we start to recover.
More news on the way, but here's a first look at weather with meteorologist Greg Thompson. Good evening, Greg.
Thanks, Kyle. I'm meteorologist Greg Thompson with your first look at weather. Outside our studios, breezy conditions a little bit, but temperatures are in the mid-80s, 84 with partly cloudy skies. Winds are out of southeast to east at 10 knots. Feels like temperature around 84 degrees Fahrenheit. On our satellite, high pressure building across our area is weakening. The frontal boundary that hung across the southeast Bahamas is also weakening, but we could see some more showers, possible isolated thunderstorms tonight. That is your first look at weather. Your extended forecast is still to come.
Still to come, what the Bar Association thinks of the extended state of emergency. Plus, parliamentarians passed the Register of Beneficial Ownership Amendment Act. Stay tuned.
This is a huge deal. NFL Sunday Ticket is back, only with Rev Trio. All day football, all day Sunday. Enjoy all the benefits of Trio with a huge extra. Never miss a game with NFL Sunday Ticket, included in your Rev Trio bundle. All you have to do is opt in. TV, phone, and internet starting at just $99. Call 601-8992 to sign up now. Visit www.rev.bs/promotions for details.
You're watching Our News. Welcome back. The Bahamas Bar Association president is weighing in on the extension of the state of emergency. Khalil Parker said he's looking forward to examining the government's plan and its legal framework. Jillian Gray has more.
Bar Association President Khalil Parker said he's waiting on the government's plan to move forward in the COVID-19 pandemic, as it's time now to move past the emergency powers orders.
We have spoken to the Attorney General on this subject, and we are aware that the government has an exit strategy. That is more of a political statement, not a legal statement from them. So we're keen to see what they present to the public to demonstrate that they are prepared to transition out of a state of emergency.
The government intends to have the emergency orders extended through October 31st. Parker said he believes many people have COVID fatigue. He added it is time to transition from emergency to safe management of the nation's affairs.
We're going to have to live with social distancing and mask wearing and other features of COVID life. And we have to see from the government that they have put the legislation in place to govern that process in the ordinary mechanics of our constitutional arrangement. So the consistent extending, we're past that. So we need to see how we transition from emergency to safe management of national affairs.
The Bar Association president added that while he appreciates that there must be steps taken to protect against further waves of infection, there are legal challenges that can arise. He said he is looking forward to examining the legislative framework to make sure it's sound.
I'm looking to make sure that the framework is sound and is compliant with people's civil liberties and that facilitates ease of doing business. There are a lot of things to juggle in this process, and we have to be vigilant on the rule of law, administration of justice, and due process issues. We also have to be careful to make sure that the steps taken protect people from the second, third, fourth wave of the COVID-19 virus. So I don't think anybody should be reticent about the fact that people are testing the legality of what has gone on. It's important that we make sure that things that were improper, if they were, are not repeated, and that if we have managed to get it right, that is celebrated.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Jillian Gray.
A 40-year-old Grand Bahama man was arraigned on firearm possession charges today. Anabar Ferdinand of Oleander Street appeared before Deputy Chief Magistrate Debbie Ferguson and was charged with possession of an illegal firearm and ammunition. According to the police report, Drug Enforcement Unit officers, while on mobile patrol on Oleander Street Monday evening, arrested a 40-year-old man for possession of a Black Smith & Wesson pistol with 17 rounds of ammunition. In court today, Ferdinand pleaded not guilty to the charges. Bail was denied and he was remanded. He returns to court for trial on January 25th, 2021. Well, parliamentarians debated and passed the Register of Beneficial Ownership and Amendment Act 2020 during the House of Assembly's morning session. Deputy Prime Minister Peter Turnquist says the legislation will bring the country in line with rules set by international watchdogs and help to keep the Bahamas off of blacklists.
There is unanimous agreement that the bill, once passed, will bolster our efforts to be removed from the FATF's ICRG process. Due to COVID-19 related travel restrictions, the FATF has not been able to conduct the in-country assessment of our AML-CFT regime, which is the last hurdle to being removed from the FATF's list of countries with strategic AML-CFT deficiencies. Removal from the FATF's list has been cited by the EU as a requirement for them to not include the Bahamas in the impending EU AML-CFT list.
Turnquist said the implications of the act for the Bahamas are far-reaching, and the measures proposed are vital to safeguarding the integrity of the financial sector and the reputation of the jurisdiction. Exuma's and Ragged Island MP Chester Cooper said while the opposition would support the legislation, members do have some concerns.
I do not celebrate it, but I am concerned that there are dark clouds ahead. I am concerned that we continue to be on the radar of the EU. And I am concerned that we don't yet have strategic plans to ensure that we address these issues, benchmarking ourselves against other international financial centers. And I call on this administration to speak to the issue of readiness.
Still to come, a little drummer boy gets a cool birthday surprise. Stay tuned.
This is a huge deal. NFL Sunday Ticket is back, only with Rev Trio. All-day football, all-day Sunday. Enjoy all the benefits of Trio with a huge extra. Never miss a game with NFL Sunday Ticket, included in your Rev Trio bundle. All you have to do is opt in. TV, phone, and internet starting at just $99. Call 601-8992 to sign up now. Visit www.rev.bs/promotions for details.
The Bahamas Bar Association paid a courtesy call on the Bahamas Industrial Tribunal today. Over the past year, the tribunal has been modernized to include new technology like an electronic case management system. The upgrades made the court the first in the country to introduce electronic filing and notarization. Grand Bahamas Industrial Tribunal sat in on the call via Zoom. Though Dorian destroyed some of their records, the digital system was already backed up with many of those files. Tribunal President Indira Demerit Francis said the court was prepared not only for the pandemic, but is also prepared for natural disasters.
It is the management tool. It is a necessary tool. It is worth the money, and it does save time, cost, and certainly management energy.
Well, in response to the economic challenges brought on by COVID-19 and recent hurricanes, the Grand Bahama Port Authority launched a working committee called the Revitalization and Economic Expansion of Freeport. The REEF Committee's objectives are to create an action plan for short-term stability, medium to long-term growth, and the need for Freeport to return to a thriving economy. The first iteration of the action plan is now in draft form and will be ready for public consultation today. REEF Committee lead Robert Adams invited residents and stakeholders to engage in virtual conversations and share their views online at reef.gbpa.com. Well, a 5-year-old boy received the best birthday gift ever on Tuesday. Since he learned to walk, Carter McKenzie has been following the police force marching band and imitating the moves of Drunk Major Inspector Tabori Dean. Well, he went viral after his parents posted a video of him at a performance. Inspector Dean's story is pretty cool as well. He's a second-generation drum major following in his father's footsteps and is even on the Bahamian dollar bill. When he heard it was Carter's birthday, he decided to give him a little surprise, showing up at a store bearing gifts.
What is this? That's Mr. Jabari.
I should have seen you since I saw you in a marching band.
I know, right? I got you something.
What is that?
That is so extra.
This for you.
And that's a look at news. Stay tuned for a check on sports.
This is a huge deal. NFL Sunday Ticket is back, only with Rev Trio. All-day football, all-day Sunday. Enjoy all the benefits of Trio with a huge extra. Never miss a game with NFL Sunday Ticket, included in your Rev Trio bundle. All you have to do is opt in. TV, phone, and internet starting at just $99. Call 601-8992 to sign up now. Visit www.rev.bs/promotions for details.
Track and field competition will continue amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Marcellus Hall has that in this edition of sports.
So as the year 2020 will mercifully come to an end in just a couple of months, projections are already underway for 2021, in particular for local sports and beyond. NACAC, one of those groups, already making plans for the next year.
Sands saying that despite COVID-19, his organization has been extremely busy.
We've also had a number, and I mean a number of webinars and online meetings and seminars. We had a women's conference, gender equality conference, about three of those we've had. We have monthly meetings via Zoom with our executives. We have coaches seminars, and we have educational seminars, recruiting persons from throughout the region, refresher courses, persons that are interested in the sport. So we have not lost a beat in that regard. As a matter of fact, I think Zoom is the new normal, and COVID has brought us closer together in that aspect.
Sands adding that plans are already underway for next year's calendar events.
Some of those events that were pushed back, like the Carifta Games, will still take place in Bermuda. And so our calendar is going to be very crowded. And one of those plans, obviously the pillar of one of my campaigns, is that we want to have more competition within our NACAC area. And so we're looking at developing a circuit within the area, and hopefully we'll be able to execute one or two of those events as early as next year.
Regional meets, says Sands, will open doors to allow more athletes to compete other than on the European circuit.
And while we have the top athletes like the Shelly Ann and the Shanae and the Stevie Gardners and the likes that will always be able to get a lane in Europe, there's that second tier of athletes that may not be able to get a lane in those meets over there, but they'll be equally attractive to compete within our area. And so those are the athletes that we're looking at to be able to provide opportunities for the athletes that are in our area that don't have that top opportunity.
So we'll see what 2021 brings. Meanwhile, it does seem as if NACAC is ready for whatever comes their way. Reporting for Our News, I'm Marcellus Hall.
And that's a look at news. We throw it back to meteorologist Greg Thompson for the extended weather forecast.
Thanks again, Kyle. I'm meteorologist Greg Thompson with your second look at weather. On our satellite, high pressure remains in charge of the weather across our islands. Front boundary across the southeast Bahamas basically falling apart. Some isolated showers and thunderstorms with that system. And those swells will be decreasing throughout the rest of the evening. Your boating forecast for all areas. The winds are going to be out of the east at 15 knot, seas running 3 to 5 feet, but up to 12 feet still in some northeasterly swells. Your low tide will be at 8:09 tonight. Here is a look now at your national forecast. And now a look at your extended forecast through Monday. That's a look at your weather. Have a great night, everyone.
Thank you for joining us for Our News tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Kyle Joaquin. Remember, you can catch Our News on the Go, the RefGo Play app. Have a good Wednesday evening, Bahamas.